So we apologise if there was a bit of a gap in our commentary or our visual. Alex and Kelly have been working behind the scenes to make sure it's back on and live. So I think we're there. I think Ryan's just doing a bit of catch up on social media, just make sure everybody's aware of what's going on and make sure everybody's got the right streaming. And we're ready to kick off. Well, just get ready to kick off the second game of the morning, which is Ireland against England. The toss-up has been taken and Ireland won the toss and they've elected to kick off with the familiar face of Donoghue taking the kick-off for the Irish team.
So Thomas Donoghue with the opening kick-off. Some forceful contact from Naglis Montvillas early on into the side of Ed Common. It's awarded in favour of England. A free kick which be taken by Chris Gordon into John Baldwin, over to Ed Common, who sees it to the back post where Marcus Harrison is waiting. Well done by Aoife McNichol in the Ireland goal to clear our lines. John Baldwin will resume play with a kick in, comfortably back to his kicker. The England way, that they're comfortable giving their keeper possession, trying to play around, open up the space and the opportunities in the attacking third. Gordon finds Baldwin. Closed down well by Sean Donoghue. He evades that initial tackle, met by Thomas Donoghue. Now Naglis Montvillas tries to evade John Baldwin. He does extremely well, met by Chris Gordon. He evades him. Now there's a chance here for Ireland to open the account.
Yeah, the goalkeeper went back in the box. An outside player, not giving his defender a chance to move away for the 3 metres, so it's a 2-on-1 right on the edge of the box for the Irish.
Early complacency from the England side. Play will resume for Thomas Donoghue. Free kick. He has Montvillas to his left. Tries to guide it over to Sean Donoghue on that right hand side, but prevented. John Baldwin's going to try and clear the lines of England now. Too much pace on the ball. He's frustrated with that one, and it goes out for an Ireland kick in. Foghorn blaring behind us, cheering Ireland on. Montvillas down to Donoghue. Ed Common's going to try and pick out Marcus Harrison. It looked like Montvillas and Donoghue encroach on Ed Common. A little bit of respite on the England defence.
You might see on the front of Montvillas's chair two wires.
Good pass to Marcus Harrison on the left-hand side. John Baldwin over to Ed Common, who drives it. Aoife McNichol does extremely well to limit the pass over to Marcus Harrison. The Ireland number 10 has done incredibly well there to prevent a sure goal for England. Baldwin back to Gordon. Picking some passes together that hasn't quite clicked for the England pair yet. Not quite singing off the same song sheet. Sean Donoghue with the kick in. Into the side of his brother's chair. Thomas Donoghue back to Sean Donoghue. Marcus Harrison. Pick off to the front of John Baldwin. Nice battle between Baldwin and Donoghue. Back to Gordon. Diagonal pass over to Marcus Harrison. But it looked like Gordon and Baldwin didn't give that needed 3 metre distance. Quite tight that. John Baldwin not too happy with the referee's decision. So the central referee for us today is Remy Simon. Assistant referees in Paul Pearson and Gillian Galloway. And our fourth official, our fourth assistant is Tony Christensen. Montvillas can't quite get the purchase on the ball and it goes out for an England goal kick.
As I was mentioning earlier, Montvillas's chair, you'll see the two long pose on the front of his chair. That's to help him visually because he hasn't got a great movement for his head, so he can see those sticks and he can work out where his chair is facing and what's going on in the game. So it's just an aid for him. They're not telecommunications like some people may think.
Aoife McNichol. Intercepted by Boulding. Over to Marcus Harrison. Back to Marcus Harrison via John Boulding. Boulding kicking. Down to Marcus Harrison. Cushions it into the side of his chair. Tries to find Boulding again. It's a nice height on the ball. Sean Donoghue and John Boulding connect. As the ball had quite some height from that connection. Play will resume with a set ball between Thomas Donoghue and John Boulding. John Boulding's done well, he's strong. Can he guide it past Aoife McNichol in the Ireland goal? Back to Ed Common. Extremely good feint there to take Montvillas out the game. Marcus Harrison can't get the direction on a pass or shot to resume the attack. It goes out for an Ireland goal kick.
Yeah, the England team not quite clicking yet, not quite got their passing game together, which I'm sure it only takes a matter of time for that to kick into place and the passing will be more silky, more streamlined.
Gordon tries to find Common, intercepted by Naglis Montvillas. Boulding. Frustrating there for the England captain. It's the second time this game. The ball's just run away from him. Early nerves maybe from the England side. We certainly saw that with the Northern Ireland side. They maybe succumbed to some pressure and some nerves as Ed Common has a go at goal. Guides it past Aoife McNichol. Curse of the commentator, but a superb, well-worked finish by Ed Common.
Yeah, yes. We only just said that the pass has not quite gone into sync. And what do? They turn around and say, we can do better than that, and they just proved it.
The quality in that England side, there's one or two passes and then they can be on a real meaningful attack, as we saw there.
Yeah.
And with Ed Common's quality,
I don't think the goalkeeper could have done really much, no matter who would have been in goal for that shot. It was a class shot.
Boulding finds a way past Naglis Montvillas. He has Marcus Harrison to his left, Ed Common to his right. John Boulding just rotated into the side of Thomas Donoghue's chair. Play will resume with an Ireland free kick. Boulding controls nicely. Ushers Ed Common to pick off back to him. Can he pick out Marcus Harrison? Intercepted initially by Sean Donoghue. Marcus Harrison back to Chris Gordon, the keeper.
You see automatically John Boulding drops in behind him to not only to cover the goal, but to recreate the passing triangle.
It's the trademark England way, the 4-out way. All players have attacking responsibilities. All players have defensive responsibilities. And if Chris is to advance up the field of play, it would be his expectation that one of his 3 teammates would fill the void and defensive duties. Boulding over to Common. Fires it back across the box and it just rolls between the chairs of Marcus Harrison and John Boulding, and Sean and Thomas Donoghue, I believe, were too close to the ball. Aoife McNichol down the field of play.
Boulding not giving him any time at all on the ball. He's getting straight in there, nudging around, picking the ball off at will. One of his things.
Chris Gordon down to Marcus Harrison. Sean Donoghue is going to try and prevent an England attack. Has to drop off.
No advantage there, so the referee called it back for the slight touching from the Donoghue against Marcus Harrison.
Marcus Harrison with the free kick. Got Boulding in the box. Ed Common hugging that back post. Ethan McNichol's going to try and clear her lines. Marcus Harrison still has possession. Now to Boulding. Thomas Donoghue. An effort there. Looks like really well worked by Ethan McNichol to prevent a sure own goal. John Boulding still resuming the attack. Naglis Montvillas prevents the shot.
Good pressure by England, pushing Ireland back right into their own penalty area.
Have to commend the Ireland keeper so far in this opening 10 minutes. If it wasn't for some fantastic saves from Ethan McNichol, England would surely be 3 or 4 goals up as they're going to try and work that opportunity. Marcus Harrison at the back post. She couldn't do much to prevent that opportunity, and Marcus Harrison doubles England's lead here in the ET for Home Nations Invitational.
Again, I don't know what team could stop that sort of play. When they want to play like that, they can just tear teams apart. 3 passes and the ball's in the back of the net. And no fault to the keeper and no fault to the defenders. Just very good passing, accurate passing, and a brilliant shot at the end.
Montvillas tries to get his field up a play. Marcus Harrison now is going to go for the spin kick. Blocked by Thomas Donoghue. 2-on-1 in favour of England.
Yeah, the pace of the ball there caught the Irish out again. They couldn't get away from the ball, and they were caught with 2 players in the 3-metre range.
Chris Gordon into the side of Boulding's chair.
Referee's very tight on these hits on chairs. Even though Boulding would say he was following through the ball, he was still too close to the player and too much contact.
Boulding back to Gordon. Tries to guide it over to Common. Naglis Montvillas has a chance to intercept, to push his country up the field of play. Tries to see it back to Thomas Donoghue. Over to Sean Donoghue, but intercepted by Boulding. Now Marcus Harrison has a chance now. He's going to let it run across his chest. Rotate his spin kick all the way over to Ed Common. Cushions the ball into the side of his chair. Has to have another think about his phaser attack. He opts for Chris Gordon.
He does that so well. He feints for the ball.
Chris Gordon, too close to Ed Common. 2-on-1 in favour of Ireland.
That's a big 3 metres. A big 3 metres there. No wonder he's so tall. If he wasn't so tall, normal people, that'd be 12 metres.
Thomas Donoghue with the resulting free kick. Into Sean Donoghue. Bypasses him. John Boulding fires it into Marcus Harrison. Superb connection there. Forced Thomas Donoghue into a defensive block. Naglis Montvillas has the difficult challenge of preventing Boulding. Common over to Harrison. Tries to find Gordon. Back to Harrison. Pick off. Intercepted by Montvillas.
Unfortunately, again, the speed of the ball catching the Irish out. I mean, we said it, I know we keep saying it, but if you hit the ball fast and it's a straight to the other player, you go past 2 players at a time. It's the only way you can play power chair football. You can't go through a player, you've got to go round them.
Boulding down to Harrison. Fires it into the side of Ethan McNichol's chair. Ed Common has to try and resurrect the attack. Tries to guide it back to Gordon. Goes further over to Boulding and intercepted by Thomas Donoghue.
They seem to have upped their pace now, England team. They'll be playing their intricate passing. They're all slotted into their little the pockets, and the ball's going where they want it to go.
Sean Donoghue can't quite get the direction on the pass. And a deep England kick in will resume play. Options on the bench for both sides here today. For England, they've got the options of Brad Bates, Sam Smith, Matt Francis and Dan Rigby. All experienced players in the English National League. And for the Republic of Ireland, Emer O'Sullivan, Liam Lynch, Matthew Crowley and Connor Troy. Marcus Harrison back to Boulding. He has time for a shot. Well intercepted by Thomas Donoghue. But
again, it's just the speed of the ball. What cuts the Irish out. They just don't expect the ball to come with that much speed. And before they have a chance to move, they're caught 2-on-1.
yeah, it's definitely worth the other competing nations in Northern Ireland and Scotland taking note of this.
This is an English set piece that you won't have seen very often.
This is the England trademark, the boom boom.
The boom boom.
Let's see if they can execute it. Full rotation from both. And then they've mistimed it, and Sean Donoghue has a chance to get his country up the field of play. Slight complacency from England there. But Marcus Harrison does well to prevent the Ireland attack. And some heavy contact from Thomas Donoghue results in an England free kick. So we're going to get our first substitution of the game. And it's going to be Sam Smith in place of our second goal scorer, Marcus Harrison. Can Sam have a similar impact to that of Marcus Harrison? We will soon find out.
Yeah, I think if you just saw the play there, Montvillas is stretched to the English pitch, made Chris Gordon have to go on the outside of him, which made he was so far away from his goal. I think if the official had seen that, they'd have blown up straight away, and that would have been a straight yellow card.
Montvillas down to Bolden. He's got Sam Smith in a world of space. Can he find Ed Common, his club and country teammate, on the right hand side? He can't, unfortunately. A difficult skill to execute, certainly for his first involvement in this tournament. He'll be hoping for better next time. As Aoife McNichol takes the resulting goal kick, she's got Montvillas in space on this right hand side. She opts to go for Thomas Donoghue in the middle. Gordon's just going to let that cushion it into the side of his chair to try and take Montvillas out of the game. Over to Boulding. Common's going to have a go at goal. Aoife McNichol is going to try and clear the lines. Common. Back to Boulding. Intercepted by Montvillas. Relentless attack currently from England. Sean Donoghue's done well. Oh, heavy contact there between Thomas Donoghue and John Boulding. Goes in the favour of England.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just played through the ball, that's all. He missed the ball, and obviously John's chair's right in front of him, so you do hear a large bang. It's quite a common a foul in the game of power chair football.
Boulding will take into a Common, just lets it run across his chair, can't quite get the connection on the reverse spin kick. It goes out for a goal kick, right option. Couldn't quite get the execution.
One of Common's trademark moves. He's very good at both the reverse and the front spin. His connection to the ball is phenomenal.
Good pass there from Aoife McNichol to pick out her winger, Naglis Montvillas. Tried to keep the attack going. Was hoping to either force an effort on goal or pick out one of his teammates on that right-hand side. And John Boulding just lets that trickle out of play for a goal kick. Good work from the England captain. Minute and a half remaining of this first half. England 2, Ireland 0. Thomas Donoghue. Well cushioned in this left-hand wing. Ed Common going to try and find a way out. Montvillas has the option of either Donoghue on the wings. 2-on-1. Once again is awarded in favour of England. Got a minute left this first half. Gordon into Boulding, over to Sam Smith, pick off back to Boulding. Nice driven shot. results in a Montvillas effort at goal, but
Great
Chris
positioning.
Gordon just thwarting that effort.
Yeah. I think what we're seeing, it's not for any stretch of imagination, it's the most prestige England game, but they're very work-like, they're very thorough.
Ed Common now with an opportunity to find a way round. Strange decision there. He opted for two players that were deeper than him. I'm not sure the angle is quite there to force a forceful effort at goal.
No, you might have a rethink on that one next time.
But the warning signs continue to mount. Bouldin is going to try and see it over to Common. Pick off back to Bouldin. Well done by Naglis Montvillas. It's an opportunity here, but they just let it run out the field of play. Looks like the referee's bringing back an early advantage. Some forceful contact, supposedly from an England player, which will result in an Ireland free kick.
John's got that John's got a little smile on his face saying, "What, me?"
We've had the 20 minutes. We're now in additional time. So a goal here could be huge for Ireland to half the deficit. Approaching the half-time break. He's got Montvillas to his left. He's got Sean Donoghue to the right. Into Montvillas. Drives it across. Can't quite get the connection. And the referee, Remy Simon, blows his whistle for the half-time break. England 2, Ireland 0. Join us shortly for the second half. Hello everyone, welcome back to this Ep for Home Nations Invitational fixture between England and Ireland, our second game of the day, which England currently lead by 2-0. Finishes from Ed Common and Marcus Harrison separate the sides. Looks like we're unchanged from how we ended. Apologies. One adjustment for the England team. It looks like Chris Gordon has gone off in place of number 10, Matt Francis. Be interesting to see if he can adopt a similar role to Chris Gordon. So, Thomas Donoghue with the free kick. Sean Donoghue to the right, Montvillas to the left. Goes for Montvillas, met by John Balding, who has the option of Sam Smith to his left. Should he need it? He opts for Ed Common on the right-hand side. Thomas Donoghue does well to intercept initially, but Balding regains possession. I think it was a 2-on-1 in favour of Ireland. Not sure who encroached on the ball as Ethan McNichol now takes the resulting free kick.
The England keeper encroached on John Balding, which made it he was trying to get away from the ball. We know some referees might be a bit more lenient if a player's moving away from the game, but some referees are still very adamant on the 3-on-1 rule.
Matt Francis, met by Montvillas. Very closely fought battle between the two. Montvillas doing well to prevent any further passes. Back to Sam Smith, pick off back to Matt Francis, over to John Balding, well worked move, over to Sam Smith, tries to guide it past Ethan McNichol, but she clears initially. John Balding over to Ed Common, a lot of pace on that ball, does extremely well to control it. Back to Balding, they're really putting together some nice passing now. Montvillas just does well to temporarily halt that momentum, but John Balding tries to guide it over to Sam Smith. Good attacking momentum early in this second half for our current leaders.
There's just no lenience on that referee.
There is no leniency on the contact, no.
He's
Sam Smith,
nothing.
a slight rotation to his right is deemed too forceful. And play will resume with a free kick for Ireland.
I think we see in the English game that's more acceptable, and it's just a follow through. But I think, especially in the French game, any collision whatsoever, they blow for.
Once again, some contact, but this way it goes in favour of Sam Smith, and England have a good free kick in an attacking area. This is direct, should he want it. But he has John Balding in the centre, Ed Common at the back. He goes for Balding, well prevented by Thomas Donoghue.
Certainly wasn't 5 metres away.
But thank you all for joining us on our streams, whether you're on Epfors Facebook, Epfors YouTube, or here in person. We hope you're enjoying what has started as a fantastic tournament. Matt Francis tries to guide it diagonally over to Ed Common, but Ethan McNichol prevents it. This Epfors event is sanctioned by our world governing body, FIFA, and proudly partnered by UEFA. Villas tries to get the pick off back to Thomas Donoghue, but John Balding prevents it. See, I would have probably allowed that play to go on. It's 50-50 from the players, but goes in the favour of Ireland, so a good chance for them to get out their defensive half.
Yeah, you could say one thing for the referee. He is consistent. He hasn't changed his tune, as it were, and he'll blow it for any contact.
No. That's completely fair, as long as he's consistent with his approach. Our central referee, Remy Simon. Foghorns blaring behind us in support of Ireland, as Thomas Donoghue tries to guide it over to Montvillas, intercepted by Matt Francis. Ed Common now has it on the right wing. He's found Matt Francis, can't quite get the power on the pass or shot to trouble Ethan McNichol in the Ireland goal. Good battle between the two keepers of England and Ireland here. Ethan McNichol does well, prevents Matt Francis from advancing up the field of play. Met by John Balding. Thomas Donohoe's just filled the void, vacated by Aoife McNichol. Good battle here with the England captain John Baldwin. He's initially won by Aoife McNichol.
He's playing really well.
Positive work from the number 10 for Ireland. John Baldwin struggling to find a way past her. He does eventually. Sean Donohoe meets it. Two Irish players have to be careful there. Too close to John Baldwin. The 2-on-1 will resume play in favour of England.
I think the beauty if they got now the keeper, England, is that he can play so well out on pitch. He's just as well in goal he is on pitch.
Typically utilised as a central player for Brighton and Hove Albion Power Chair Football Club, Matt Francis. He's having a fantastic season in the English National League where they chase promotion to the Premiership. Once again, slight contact between the players isn't allowed by the referee, Remy Simon. And England have a free kick in a good area. Ed Common looks like he's coming over to take. John Baldwin looks like that pass prevented by Montvillas. Likewise with Sam Smith with Sean Donohoe, but he goes for goal straight away, which forces Thomas Donohoe into a save. Can Sean Donohoe capitalise on the momentum of the ball rolling into the England half?
Well played, Matt Francis.
Good chance here for Sean Donohoe, found by his brother Thomas. Irish players have to be careful, get their communication on as to not allow that 2-on-1. Once again, Montvillas has to drop off, allowing Thomas Donohoe the space. Over to Sean Donohoe, intercepted by a Common. Over to Baldwin, he's just going to let that run into the side of his chair and he's going to maintain the reversing motion to try and evade Montvillas, but he's unable to. It's worth noting that a lot of these players are utilised in multiple positions for their club and country, which is why you'll see that familiar 4-out system for England. Each of them can play key roles, whether that's on the wing, central, or fill in the goalkeeper position. John Baldwin there just on the wing. Sam Smith has an opportunity at goal, can't quite get the direction, and it looks like Thomas Donohoe and Aoife McNichol would have prevented the goal should it have been accurate.
Yeah, a classic dummy by John Baldwin, letting the ball run in front of his chair, so it went to the back post. England preparing for a substitution again.
Looks like Marcus Harrison will be coming back on the field of play. Wonder if it'll be the same change we saw earlier, just Sam Smith will leave, or whether Ed Common vacates in favour of John Baldwin. Over to Sam Smith, trying to put some passes together, intercepted by Sean Donohoe. Matt Francis now going to try and get his field up, the team of play. Fantastic pass from John Baldwin, picks out Ed Common, he just cushions it to try and work out what Aoife McNichol in the Ireland goal was going to do. A 2-on-1.
I think the referee there blew up a bit too early for the England team. They wanted advantage, they were in an attacking position. And I think the referee's just blown up too early.
Yeah. England captain not too happy with the lack of advantage. Play will resume with an attacking free kick for England. Just having that conversation. This looks like we're getting that substitution as earlier predicted. Sam Smith leaving in place of Marcus Harrison, who enters the field once again. We'll be looking for his second goal.
I think there's an Irish substitution as well.
It looks like Emer O'Sullivan is going to come on, and Naglis Montvillas will leave the field of play. He's done well to break up the play when needed.
Yeah, just a change now, get some fresh blood on, see what else they can do.
Let's see what Emer O'Sullivan can do, but she'll have to wait. Try and limit Marcus Harrison's options. Ed Common, pick off, back to John Baldwin. Can't quite get the direction, and Emer O'Sullivan his first involvement involves clearing the lines of Ireland. She's called into action a lot in the early few seconds.
Well
Marcus Harrison feints one way, goes the other. Thomas Donohoe has to drive over to limit the England number 9. Too much pace on that. Goes out for an England kick in. Which will be taken by Matt Francis. Marcus Harrison, one of the world's leading players at playing in tight areas.
2-on-1 again by the French.
One of the best dribblers of the
By
ball
French.
within power chair football, so he's comfortable with limited space.
I think sometimes the ball comes in at such pace that the Irish don't realise they're still in a 2-on-1 position.
Here we go. Marcus Harrison, John Bolden just to his left. Ed Common over to the right. Goes opts for Ed Common. Intercepted by Donoghue. And John Bolden and Ed Common's encroachment on the ball will result in an Ireland 2-on-1. 9.5 minutes remaining. England 2, Ireland 0 in this Epsom Home Nations Invitational here in Northern Ireland. Marcus Harrison found by John Bolden, guides it over across the box. Ed Common at the back post, unmarked.
Beautiful trademark goal.
England 3-0 up. Once again, that connection between John Bolden in the centre and Ed Common on the right wing results in yet another goal.
I think when England play that move, when it comes to John Bolden, he hits the ball with such force and it's so pinpoint that the actual winger has no other choice but to put the ball in the back of the net.
Unfortunate for Ireland, who have been superb in limited England's opportunities in this second half. Huge positives to take though. Approaching a huge afternoon fixture against Scotland, who will be buoyed by an earlier 2-1 win over Northern Ireland, as Marcus Harrison just lets it roll across his chair, giving him the space to attempt a pass. Emer O'Sullivan does well to keep it in, but puts it into the path of Matt Francis, who fires a shot into Ethan McNichol. Francis over to Harrison, pick off to Ed Common. Ed Common now the deepest player for England. John Bolden on the right wing.
Yeah, we don't see John Bolden much on the right wing, to be fair.
Interesting decision. I mean, the ball was trapped and it did look like there was a lot of force between the chairs, but I don't think you could have blamed either one of them.
No, they would go for a 50-50 ball.
Just a slight adjustment to Thomas Donoghue's chair, making sure he's okay after that healthy connection.
I think the referee was a little bit swayed by the Irish contingency.
O'Sullivan to the right, Sean Donoghue to the left. Right, he's going to opt for Emer O'Sullivan, who just cushions it into the side of her chair to try and evade John Bolden. Can she get a purchase on the ball to see it over to one of her teammates? Unfortunately, the rotated spin kick doesn't, but came off the England chair last, so she'll resume the attack. Fires it through, intercepted by Matt Francis. Aoife McNichol called into action. Matt Francis, pick off to Harrison, just gets caught on the back of his chair.
He's so quick and so turns the player so easily there.
Really is a special player, played a key role in England's successful Nations Cup victory in 2019, where England were crowned European champions in Finland. As he's going to try and pick off here, back to one of his teammates. He finds Matt Francis, who picks out Ed Common on the right-hand side. Couldn't quite find the gap between Thomas Donoghue and Aoife McNichol, and it goes out for an England corner. 6 minutes remaining. Looks like we're going to get a substitution once again.
A double one, by the look of it.
Double substitution as Matt Francis leaves the field of play in place of Chris Gordon. It looks like Dan Rigby is going to make his senior debut following a fantastic development tournament earlier in April. So Matt Francis leaves the field of play in place of Chris Gordon, and Dan Rigby enters in place of Ed Common. Dan Rigby's first involvement as a senior England international will be a corner kick on the right-hand side. He's got John Bolden in the middle, who he finds. Well met by Aoife McNichol on the goal line for Ireland. Just trapped behind Thomas Donoghue's chair. Over to Sean Donoghue. Bolden over to Marcus Harrison. Spin kick into the side. Thomas Donoghue intercepted by Sean Donoghue. Very high intensity game. Can't take your eyes off it for 1 minute.
Don't. There's only 5 minutes left.
5 minutes remaining. England 3, Ireland 0. 2 goals from Ed Common, a single from Marcus Harrison. Thomas Donoghue tries to force it down the field of play. Chris Gordon now called into action. Met by Aoife McNichol. She's done well there to evade Chris Gordon. Now she has the options. Sean Donoghue's up. Emer O'Sullivan tries to find Aoife McNichol once again, but cut out by our leaders. McNichol.
Again, I think the referee, his interpretation of 3 metres is a larger one than ours. He's got long legs.
Chris Gordon with the free kick into Boulding. Intercepted by Emer O'Sullivan, who's going to try and pressure Chris Gordon in the England goal. John Boulding just resumes the most defensive duty for England. Gordon. Can Thomas Donoghue intercept? He can't. A lot of pace on that ball. He'll do well to control it. Just guides it down the wing. And Emer O'Sullivan has to cut it out.
Chris Gordon is so calm and collective in his 18-yard box. He really does pick up the ball without any threat, without any pressure at all, and just plays it so calmly.
Too much pace for Dan Rigby to control, and it goes out for an Ireland kick in. No, completely agree. There's few players in the world that can do what Chris Gordon does, playing under pressure.
His facial expression just doesn't change.
It's his game face. Thomas Donoghue now met by Chris Gordon. Emer O'Sullivan. Chris Gordon cuts it out. Sees it over to Marcus Harrison on the left-hand side, who just lets it run into the side of his chair. Spin kick over to Chris Gordon. Fantastic accuracy from England number 9. He's got the ball against... Can Chris Gordon work the shot? Tries to find Marcus Harrison. Limited space. Aoife McNichol has to be careful with that near post. Fantastic pass from Chris Gordon over to Dan Rigby, who would have loved to open his England senior account with a goal. Two on one once again in favour of England.
I think Ireland a little bit unfortunate there. Definitely wasn't interfering with play. But as Laurel game stands, 2 on 1's 2 on 1.
Boulding to Rigby, back to Boulding, back to Rigby. He's got rotated spin kick into the side of Aoife McNichol's chair. Out of play. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Rigby, back to Boulding, over to Marcus Harrison. Great pass, great goal. Arguably the goal of the tournament so far. The precision, the accuracy, the power on the eventual shot puts England 4-0 up.
If that's not straight off the old coach's manual, nothing ever will be. Pinpoint accuracy.
Completely agree. So that's 2 for Marcus Harrison, 2 for Ed Common. England 4, Ireland 0. Looks like Sean Donoghue has left the field of play in favour of Naglis Montvillas, and it looks like Brad Bates will be introduced in place of our captain, John Boulding. So we're going to see a slight adjustment from the England team here. Marcus Harrison is going to play a central role, vacated by Boulding. Brad Bates on the right. Dan Rigby on the left. Thomas Donoghue tries to guide it through a condensed England half. Rigby met by Emer O'Sullivan. Thomas Donoghue fires it over to Naglis Montvillas on the left-hand side. Great accuracy there from Thomas Donoghue. Little bit too much for his winger to control. So we've played the 20 minutes. We're now into additional time. Thomas Donoghue is going to try and get a late consolation. Met by Marcus Harrison in that central role, which he does so well for his club, West Bromwich Albion PFC. Finds Brad Bates for his first involvement. Over to Dan Rigby on this left-hand side, who's going to have a go on goal. Couldn't quite get the timing. Unlucky from the England 21. And the referee, Remy Simon, blows his whistle for full time. England 4, Ireland 0. Commiserations to Ireland, but a classy performance from arguable tournament favourites England. Proved too much. Positives for them to take in their future games. So, if you stick with us for a few more minutes, we're going to try and get a few interviews with some of the competing players before our lunch break. Just to remind you of this afternoon's fixtures. At 2:30, our host Northern Ireland play England. And at 4:15, Scotland face Ireland. Scotland looking for a further 3 points on top of their fantastic earlier win against host Northern Ireland. So stick with us and we'll try and get some interviews with either the players or coaches of England and Ireland.
Well, guys, thank you very much for that first game with England and Ireland, where England run out, come to winners in the end. I'm sat here with Mike Donoghue, who is the Ireland manager. So, Mike, what you take from your first game?
Well, I think on the whole we played well. I think we didn't know England was unexpected. You didn't know how good they were going to come, and unfortunately they were better than us. But very impressed with the way we played, and hope to grow through the tournament.
I think, especially with Ether in goal, absolutely phenomenal. You know, her positioning was superb. You couldn't blame her for any of the goals. I think the passing and the accuracy of the England team was brilliant, but I don't normally see her playing goal, but I think it was absolutely fantastic the way she played.
Yeah, something we thought of after Finland. When we were in Finland, we saw once we took over and we said, her chair was fast, she was nippy, good positioning, very defensive. So we said we'd try it this tournament, and it looks like it's going to pay off. So we'll see now. 3 more matches to go.
So you think for your next game then, not many changes to be made?
Maybe a change, yeah. There might be a couple of changes, but we want to try a couple of systems. So that was the first system we think is going to be the more attacking system. So now maybe we might try the defensive system next. We'll see how the players feel.
Well, I suppose these are the times to try these things out, getting ready for the World Cup.
Yeah, well, for us, this is what it is. We come now and then see where we are, see what we've got to do, and try and improve for the World Cup. And to be fair, I know they got beat, but I think they played better than the result. So happy.
No, well, from us watching and commentating, you know, the Irish played really well, and we're really pleased to have you back on the international scene.
Delighted to be here.
Cheers, Michael. Thank you very much.
You stick with us for a few more minutes. Going to try and get one of the England players for a few comments. It looks like we're going to get Matt Francis over for his thoughts and feedback on England's 4-0 game over Ireland.
Well, hello everybody. I don't know if you'll recognise the person I'm with, but I'll let you introduce himself. So, hi to
Matt Francis.
Hi Matt, how you doing? First game of the tournament. How do you think it went?
Yeah, it was good. I think we settled in quite well and got our game going after kind of a few minutes. I thought it was a good performance all round and obviously a good result. So just use that now to grow in to the next game and kind of the tournament as a whole.
Yeah, watching, we could obviously see every England player coming off the bench could just fit into any position. How easy is that for you as a player to be able to do that?
Yeah, so I think we've got phenomenal kind of strength in depth. I think every player can kind of come out and play really well, which is fantastic. Obviously, playing in goal is slightly different for me than kind of at club level, so obviously a little bit of a kind of learning curve there. But yeah, it's great that kind of can come off the bench and have that impact. You
slightly mentioned club level there. Obviously, playing for Brighton at the moment. Was it hard to make a decision not to play at the regionals on the championship and come out here, or was it because you love playing for England?
Yeah, so playing for Brighton, and not just currently. I'm going to be at Brighton for a long while. So yeah, I really enjoy my time there, and I've got full confidence in the boys back at home that they can go and smash the league. So I've got no worries there.
For you though, playing for England, still the best thing to ever happen?
Yeah. Obviously, playing for your country and being able to represent your country is a huge honour, and to kind of have that bestowed upon me is great, and to kind of keep that going. And obviously, I've been part of the squad now since I was kind of 14, so like 10 years. So it's great to kind of still be in amongst it and still be able to do that. And yeah, it's a great privilege to be able to come out here and do it.
Does it get any harder though, having to learn different tricks, learn different ways of playing to beat the players? I mean, the average player now is playing so much better now than they were 4 years ago. How much more difficult is that for you?
Yeah, so I think it just drags the quality up, really, doesn't it? And as you say, kind of, I haven't been at the Premiership, but like watching the live streams and stuff, obviously the quality there has improved massively, and as has the championship since we played there several years ago. So yeah, I think it just brings everybody on really, and kind of is that momentum to kind of push people forward and carry on improving. So I wouldn't see it as kind of something that's hard, but I think it's a challenge for everyone here. Obviously, there's 8 of us here. Lots of people at home want to be here, so it's about kind of trying to always play our best and represent the country as best as we can, because we know that people are kind of hot on our heels. So I think that's a real kind of motivation for me anyway.
Well, definitely. When we saw the development squad only a couple of weeks ago, how well they played, and we've seen in the Premiership itself, there's some outstanding players are knocking on the doors for all you guys in the England shirts. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, as I say, I think it's a huge motivator more than anything, and it's great to see other people come through, and I think it's just kind of a representation of where the sport is going as well, more generally. So for me, I think it's fantastic. The kind of better the quality out there, the better we'll all play, because it will just push us all on. And if we're playing against better players, that will drive standards. So yeah, for me, as I say, I see it as kind of a motivator rather than anything else.
Matt, that's fantastic to hear you say that. It really is. Well, thank you very much, Matt. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you in this tournament, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks very much, Brian. Cheers. And good luck to Brighton at home.
I don't think they did very well against Bournemouth.
No, but there are more games to come. I'm sure we'll smash it. So yeah, full belief. I'm sure we'll do well.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you very much.
Thank you.